What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the Beast Hub. Jacob, we're not alone today.
No.
We have special guests with us. We have Riot with us. Johnny Riot, what's going on?
Yo.
Say hi to everybody.
There he is.
He's with us again, and we also have the one and only Steve, the voice of Goji Center. Say hi, Steve.
What's up? Hi, Steve. First time meeting Mr. Reacts here, Mr. Riot as well. So, hey, what's up? I've been watching for a long time and laughing for a long time, so this is really cool for me.
Dude, I freaking love your voice. You have the best action voice ever.
I should do the MEG trailer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody get in touch with Warner Brothers.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's what we try to do here on the Beast Hub, is get together a bunch of cool people and talk about these crazy movies. So we're obviously talking about the MEG 2, The Trench, if you didn't know by this point. And I just got back with it. I think you guys all went and watched it yesterday, but I'm just watched it. Like, I got back home like an hour ago, and so I'm fresh off of watching it. And I'll let you guys talk, but I guess my overall opinion is that I think it's good, but the movie is freaking ridiculous. There's no denying that. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So let's get started with Riot. Riot, you have a juicy story to tell us. So
I got into it. Because half my theater was chewing loud as hell, and I told Joe, Goji Center, I told him I'd yell at somebody if I went at 3. I got to go at 10 a.m. This like 50-year-old dude was just, oh my god! I threw 2 Twizzlers at him, and he was He was unstoppable. He was the final boss of movie theater chewers.
What was he
unstoppable
doing?
Moron. He was, well, the chewing was bad, but I could get over that. But whenever there was a slight action scene, he'd start viciously shaking his bag to mix up the butter. Oh my god! I guess when I say it out loud, it doesn't sound that bad, but at the time I was gonna kill him.
No.
That's funny.
You're preaching to the choir. That is brutal.
Yeah, I got another crazy story that revolved around another 50-some probably year-old guy. So we're walking in there into the movie theater, and then I'm just going up the stairs, and I hear splat, boom, God! This guy, I don't know, he must have fell, and I walked out to go to when movie was done. There was cheese splattered on the floor, on the wall. This guy, and then he comes storming into the theater, and I'm pretty sure someone called him like 5 minutes into the movie, and he was like, "Hey, I'm watching a movie." What's wrong with people being stupid these days?
I would have lost my shit. I would have lost. Oh my god.
I was pretty pissy, especially how much money these tickets are costing these days, and then people go in there with no respect. So anyway, we're talking about the MEG, but yes, people can suck. They can ruin your movie watching experience. But what'd you think about the movie though? Like, other than the guy ruining it for you?
Oh, me still?
Yeah,
dude.
I freaking loved it. I knew I'd have to turn my brain off going in there from the start. I was like, I'm just going for action and big monsters, and it delivered pretty well. Like, sure, it was like a really high budget Sharknado.
Sharknado versus octopus.
Yeah. Steve, what's your thoughts? Your quick little summed up thoughts, and then we'll just go nuts about it.
I saw it last night. I had a good crowd actually, pretty decent and not too busy, but it was same deal. Knowing you got to go into this one expecting to not be watching the most amazing movie you've ever seen. You know what you're getting into. They write it right on the ticket, right? And it's exactly what I was hoping for. The action actually was a lot prettier than I thought it was going to be. You know, we've got so much conversation about CGI kind of taking a nosedive here and there. 1 or 2 shots, like some of the water splashing out and the way that some explosion happened through grass. I was like, okay, I don't know, that's looking a little Unreal Engine-y to me. But for the most part, I was really impressed with the special effects. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
the story is ridiculous, though, and the parts where you can tell you're like, well, this funding came from not America. Okay, you got that, yeah. But by the end, you're having a laugh, just like the people whose friends just died, just laughing on the beach, you know.
Really.
That ending, I was like, what are you all so happy about? Like, this is a massacre. You should have severe PTSD right now. Like, what the hell?
They had like a sitcom laugh, like they had the end of G.I. Joe episode
drunk,
laugh.
They're all chilling on the beach, like. They forgot that dozens of people just got killed 20 minutes ago.
And aren't there more of the little monsters?
Probably.
Crawling around? Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem fun.
Yeah, how'd they keep track of how many they kill? Like, there's a lot of these little thingies. Which, by the way, I want to bring this up. Did anybody else catch very close, I guess, references to Jurassic Park throughout the movie?
Oh, the tall grass.
Tall grass.
Yeah, with them running. Don't go into the long grass.
Don't go into the long grass.
Even the opening,
Yeah.
it's so Jurassic Park. Although at the same time, I felt like they were ripping off the marketing for the American like '98 Godzilla. Do you remember the very first teaser trailer for that? It was like a statue in a museum of a
Oh, yeah, where they're like
Tyrannosaurus
in a-
Rex,
yeah, yeah,
and they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"This is the biggest thing we've ever seen in movies." So, and then Godzilla's foot stomps it, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Now get ready to see some real dinosaur action." It felt like that right at the beginning.
I mean, yeah, it was a long time ago, but I did see a bunch of references. Like, this is a really random example, but like, you remember that one part when the girl was chewing the gum and the guy's like, "Give me your
yeah.
gum."
Your gum.
Yeah.
And then that was literally from Jurassic Park: Lost World.
Lost
the
World.
tall grass. The tall grass scene when you saw the little creatures running through the grass and everything, that was literally Lost World. And I'm just like, yo, dude, that's freaking, towards the end, it felt very Jurassic Park-ish. It felt more Jurassic Park-ish to me than freaking Dominion. That was,
Oh, absolutely.
I was super happy with that. And I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. There's monster chaos going on everywhere. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways of this movie, at least a good thing. Towards the end of the movie, it was just chaos everywhere, and I loved it. It was perfect.
The last 30 minutes were super chaotic and super
It was
just
fun.
monster porn.
Yeah.
Just
Even if it was like kind of like a double beat from the first movie, when they're like, "By the way, there's a whole crowd of people having fun we're gonna mess around with." They kind of did the same beat, but I liked the jump in this one where they're like, "What's the name of the island?" Oh, translates to Fun Island.
Fun.
Let's go have some fun. Seeing like newlyweds or newly engaged people and stuff getting eaten. Yeah, I'm all
It
for it.
was-
The dog is back. Yeah.
the same
Pippin.
dog, I know. My buddy
freaking
was
Pippin
watching
is
the
back,
movie with
dude.
me. He geeked out. He's like, "Yeah, the dog. It's like a main character in the series. It better be back if they make a third one."
Absolutely.
Just
For real,
At this
it's-
point. So, what do
for
you
real,
guys
you gotta
think
bring it.
about? You like the ending of the movie. Now, I've talked to Al a little bit, and he didn't like the middle of the movie to where it got kind of like espionage-y, and they went in the trench to where they're walking around and they're doing the whole kind of like, the bad guys sort of crap, which I'll go and say that, yeah, this was a dumb, fun movie, and I enjoyed the hell out of it still, though, just because I like that sort of stuff. But, like, I really didn't like the bad guy sort of character arc or story arc. It felt kind of like useless. I feel like the 30 minutes that they spent on like, oh, look at the bad humans trying to whore Earth and take money and greed and all that stuff. They could have spent more time making the Megs do more scary stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
didn't dislike that middle of the movie because I like survival movies. I like, like movies or stakes. Like, oh my gosh, if we don't do this thing in 1 minute, we're going to die. But at the end of the day, I really like Jason Statham, and he's freaking awesome. And apparently, if you suck water up into your nose, you can survive 25,000 feet under the ocean.
I
don't
need
know if you
someone to
guys knew
fact
that.
check that. I need someone
Right?
to test that.
Yeah.
That was like watching Event Horizon when they're like, "No, don't worry, he can jump through space just for like 30 seconds though. He'll be
I
fine."
was like, what?
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And I don't know, but what do you guys think about that middle section of the movie?
I call cap on that. I'm just like, I don't know if people could really do that. Somebody, you smart people, tell me in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and find you smart people and ask you, because that
gonna
is something
answer
that I'm
it.
like,
Science it out.
I gotta know if this is true.
I'm going to answer for you. That's not true. That's
It was like
Not
thousands of
as
pounds of
portrayed.
pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
We just,
Like,
I mean,
tons.
I don't know
He
if
still
it's
has
too
lungs,
soon,
right?
if it's
Like-
too soon or whatever, but that submarine just went baboof at like 12,000 feet, and this is 25,000 feet. And but
Yeah.
this is Jason Statham though. He fights
Yeah.
Megs with his fist.
Yeah.
He go, "Rah!"
But I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're right about the middle part, kind of taking a weird side journey, and I felt like I felt speaking of Jurassic Park, I was like, you're gonna have some megalodons on your megalodon tour, right? Like we're gonna
Yeah.
be doing more of the sharks.
Yeah, I forgot it
but-
was a damn Meg movie for like 20 minutes.
and like they had like
Yeah.
the exosuits and stuff that didn't really pay off by the end of the movie. I was like, I want to see that thing taking chunks out of something, a shark, an
It was a
octopus,
really
something.
cool idea. Like,
and then
I
they
liked
just
it
kind of
visually.
didn't. Yeah, totally.
The idea was cool of like walking and like survival. It kind of felt like Pitch Black or like one of those, with like Vin Diesel and all that, like
Yeah.
those survival monster movies.
Or like it felt like the pilot jumpsuits for the Pacific Rim, you know?
yeah, it was
That
very
kinda,
cool.
that kind of
Sorta, yeah.
vibe.
They just kind of spent too much time on the bad guy human arc, which was just
I wonder if that was Jason Statham's pitch. He's like, listen, you can't have me fighting sharks the whole time, you know. He's like, we got to Hobson Shaw this up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they needed to throw. I think they just wanted to throw in something to make Jason Statham be able to punch some people. I
thought his foil was just frustrating. The guy that was constantly fighting him the whole movie. I'm like, who is this? Who is this schmuck? Get out of here.
Oh, the token bad guy.
Have any of you guys seen the movie Underwater?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like half that middle was from that movie, especially when the lady's thing imploded. I feel like
that was
you guys got to see that movie.
That
you guys
was
got to see
an
it.
scene. I liked that they actually made her face blow off.
Yeah, even the way they showed it in the Meg 2 in the airlock, I was like, oh, that was actually pretty tense scene.
Yeah,
and I doubt that they thought that they were going to be that close to an actual,
what happened
scenario, an actual disaster where something similar happened. It played pretty well.
It was a good scene. I was one of those people that didn't want her to die, not because I liked the person, but more of like, oh, I hope she doesn't like get her face imploded, which she did. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that was a good move, movie-wise. Which, fun fact, if that ever actually does happen to you, you turn into like this liquid gel or something underwater, which is kind of nasty.
We would have seen much more blood go out.
That's what I was saying. You would have seen guts for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell this movie was trying to, it was PG-13, and they were really trying to keep it PG-13. I think the most blood I seen was when, the little creatures were getting shot and stuff, or stabbed. I think you saw a
his
little bit
nose
of blood
dripped into the water.
Yeah, but there was no gore. This is not a gore. There's more gore in the Jurassic movies. But, a lot of people wanted more gore, but, when it comes to the Meg, what can it do? It's so big. That one scene to where it was biting people, I know we're getting off tangent, but when you seen people in the mouth,
that was the coolest shot of the whole movie.
That was for real. That was super cool.
That is one of the best monster shots of probably all time. I'm not saying this movie is, by God, no. But I'm saying that 5-second scene.
The shot.
That whatever cinematographer or whatever dude at the studio that was like, yo, I got a cool idea. Good job.
It's the double bite and the little bits of light coming through the teeth even when the mouth is closed. Yeah, that. As soon as the double bite happened, I think I gasped. I was like, those people are going to have a bad day. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. That was probably to your guys' point, this is the coolest scene, and it was just the point of view of the people being inside the mouth of the shark, and I'm like, holy shit, this is whoever came up with this idea needs to go direct a freaking movie, because it was a freaking good shot. Yeah,
that was a great shot. Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, but what you guys think about the Kraken?
Okay. They gave that thing a lot of screen time and kind of force in the movie, but at the end of the day, it just kind of came up and it picked on a bunch of idiots and bimbos and stuff.
For some reason, it likes to ragdoll people so they can safely get rescued instead of just pulling them under. I was like, what's the point of There's 10 people flailing for 5 minutes right now. Just eat them.
I wanted to see that. I want to see the beak do more than just chomp at something. I was like, are we gonna see? So like you said, they didn't go heavy on the gore, and I think that would have been pretty messy, but. I was waiting for a little bit more. I think the design looked cool. It just didn't seem very it seemed big in the trench when they first kind of implied it, and they showed you the eyeball next to a guy. I'm like, the scale's huge. But then when it's attacking people, I'm like, oh, these are just little tentacles.
It had little baby tentacles.
The Skull Island cartoon had a scarier Kraken, And
didn't even kill a Meg. It got eaten by the first one.
Yeah, I had to ask. I was with my partner and my girlfriend. She's like, yeah, no, the octopus died. I'm like, when? It got bit by a Meg.
But me too.
But then what happened?
I don't remember how that freaking thing died. I actually was hoping to come here and having one of you guys remind me how that Kraken died.
It wrapped up the shark, and the shark got loose and just bit its face, and it screamed and died.
Just ate him.
Yeah,
that's it.
Moved on.
Yeah. I was hoping for a more dramatic fight, because it was I wouldn't say our hero Meg, but it was what was its name? Haikai.
It was our Mecha Godzilla.
It was our Meg, our Meg Godzilla, and you kind of they kind of set it up like it was gonna have a dramatic fight, and it was oh, come on Meg, you can do it. For a second, I almost was rooting for the Meg, and then it went rah rah, and then done. And I'm like, oh.
Well, and I'll tell you some science that I learned from Mythbusters back in the day. As soon as he stabs the Kraken, blows up that bomb, and is still swimming, I'm like, I'm sorry, he's dead now. He doesn't need to be in the explosion. If he's in the water with the explosion, he's dead. That's how it works.
Well, when the pressure
but he had the biggest plot armor I've ever seen, so he was okay.
The one guy. Yeah, but it was almost they did it on purpose. Like, this movie was not trying to
Absolutely.
It was not trying to go and pretend like it's like gonna win any
Yeah.
awards. You know, like they knew what they were making. And
They were
I feel
having
like
fun.
a lot of people struggle to like differentiate that with movies these days, to where they can't just understand that like this movie wanted to be stupid. And so just go. It kind of felt like a movie ride. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever watched the movie on one of those X screens, to where like
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing This is the first time I've ever went and watched it, and I was like, oh gosh, and that it felt like I was like experiencing it, and it felt like this movie felt like a ride more than a movie, and I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people won't be, but
It's
I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Still
At least in-
experiential.
I love
and,
it.
like that's I
It
love
was-
a good
it was
summer
great.
blockbuster piece of crap. That
Yeah.
if you even want to describe it that way, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was worth the price of admission for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
definitely.
I do think
And-
Jason Statham is killing Megs way too easy now, though. Like, they're not much of a threat anymore. He just
just
whips up some
kicking them
spears
off.
and just starts, like...
The Megs, they needed to make the Megs a little bit more intense, but like I see a lot of like we're all kind of saying like, what the heck, not enough Meg. I know like Al was really kind of upset that the movie's called Meg and there's no Megs, but like it didn't bother me too much. But like, yeah, I would have liked to see the Megs be a little bit more like frightening in the movie called The Meg. They were definitely more like background characters this time around instead of like
Yeah.
actual. They were just there to be like, oh my god,
plot
there it is.
devices.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really weren't like the force of nature like they were in the previous movie. They were the fact that they were just more this time, and then to Riot's point, they're getting killed way too easily. I guess realistically that would be true the way they'd kill him, but like I kind of like the Meg as being some sort of like big imposing freak of nature, hard to kill sort of thing. Maybe that's just me bitching about it, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Where do we take the franchise from here? Because if this movie does good, could potentially become into a third movie. But because we're seeing that Meg getting killed too easily, how do we make this Meg franchise, go into the third movie with an even bigger Meg? Or what do you guys think?
And I think
Or
one of the
pitch.
problems right there is the scaling, because like there's a line of dialogue in there when they get back under the trench and they start seeing the shapes of the whale, not the whales, the sharks, and they're like, "That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen." And in the last movie, that was the whole third act plot was like, "Oh, we thought we were dealing with a big shark. No, there's a bigger one." And so the scale just seemed off on this movie. I'm like, these sharks don't seem that big. They seem like just kind of sharks out in the water until you see that shot from inside the mouth. Then it
Yeah.
seems right on par. But yeah, I think one of the major things is, not fixing the visuals, but establishing the scale a little bit more. I think these things are supposed to be larger than life. You're supposed to one of the things that makes Godzilla so scary is he's too big, and he's also got this ancient intelligence that we just can't even comprehend. Give some of that ancient intelligence to these Megs, not just blindly attacking lights underwater. You know what I mean? Have them make have them have strategy, I guess is the best way to say it.
They do
He
seem
wants
to
to
go
have
too crazy
true-
for the lights now. It's ridiculous. You flash a light and it's like got all their attention now. It's like,
That
is
was a
really-
very
Like,
big focus.
You
in
could
this
have
one,
differentiated the big guy that they kind of gave the scars to and stuff. You could have had him be smarter than the other sharks. Those ones
Kind of like
go for the
the
lights.
V-Rexes from King Kong. You
Yeah,
know, like
absolutely.
that
Yeah,
I
could,
guess
that could
that
have
one
been a
Meg's
really good
pregnant
one.
now, so that could be. But I don't see how a pregnant Meg could lead to an interesting third, unless they genetically manufacture the babies, and the next one's three-headed Meg. That's the only other thing I could think
I
of.
feel like it's gonna be like the Megs will be on the good guys next time. It'll
Well,
be like humans
Yeah,
and
that's
sharks
exactly
versus
what I
something
was
else.
just thinking. Like they're gonna team up with the
Yeah.
the Hekai, or I can't remember Hikai. I don't know the
Heike or something,
Heike,
yeah.
our friendly kind of friendly Meg.
Click, click.
Well, this is based rough. Well, these movies are based off of a book series. Now they probably
Yeah.
don't follow it 100%. Movies never follow books 100%. But there's 6 books. So I guess you could go and figure out what the next one would be semi about if you wanted to look into it. Can you look that up real quick, Joe? See what-
6
if there's,
books
like, a-
about this? Jesus. I was laughing though at that bigger Meg thing, because it's literally that Family Guy plot. It's Jaws, but bigger Jaws.
Yeah, there was straight up a
There's
shot
5.
right from Jaws
Five?
2. 5 books. Okay.
Oh, the third one, I just looked up. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but I just looked up what the third Meg book is called. And whatever popped up, I don't know if this is right, but it says Meg Primal Waters. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
This
Primal
novel takes
Waters.
place 18 years after the second movie. So if they do another one, I don't know if Jason Statham's going to be in it. Well, it's still Jonas. Jonas is now in his early 60s, which Statham's getting kind of old, right? He feels overwhelmed by having to deal with lots of his past. He owes a lot of money. He's in debt. He's got a rebellious teenage daughter all of a sudden, apparently.
Was anybody else weirded out by that? Like, were they dating a couple years and now he's got ownership of the kid? Don't they have a family?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they got married. Who knows?
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
still.
thought was weird with this one that I didn't like. I didn't like how they made the blonde girl into a bad guy and screw over everybody. That was kind of upsetting. I was like, wasn't that like Jason Statham's wife in the first or ex?
Was that the
girlfriend
same
or
chick?
something?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
No,
was
I think
trying
it's
to
a different
place
chick.
who she was.
You think it's a
but
different girl? I couldn't remember exactly.
I felt
but
like that was telescoped so bad too. Like, it was just like, oh, I wonder who the mole could be.
The only person back at the ship, perhaps.
Yeah, really.
No, because this girl reminds me of Felicity from Arrow, and the other girl doesn't. That's how I know they're different people.
Neither. Okay, so let's see. Meanwhile, his wife Terry Jonas, at least in the book, Jason Statham, his wife investigates whale beachings off Vancouver Island. So apparently, more and more Megs are going to be out in the world. Probably like what Jurassic World Dominion was supposed to be. Like more stuff out in the world. Maybe planning to get revenge on Jonas using his pet megalodon named Scarface.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so the next one is sounding
The books
like
match the movies then.
So it's gonna be this next one's it's sounding like it's gonna be Taken mixed with James Bond mixed with the Meg, which is a weird combo.
Oh, I
if
can
they
see that
follow
for
the
sure.
book.
Kidnapping the girl for sure seems like such an obvious plot line for,
I mean, yeah, that they did that with Jurassic, and it's like the kidnappings, James Bond, the Meg. It's all kind of coming in together. We could even see like two people that trained the Meg, and then they both fight their Megs. I don't know. Like
You're
that
absolutely-
could go anywhere.
You could have like
Okay,
an Owen
so-
Gray. Yeah.
If they follow this third book at all, it's gonna be pretty much exactly what you just. I think you said it, Steve. The Meg's gonna be a good guy. That's what the book just pretty much said. Like there's
For
supposed
sure.
to be one. There's one that's gonna be like a friend of the good guys, and then one's the friend of the bad guys. So it's gonna be almost like Pokemon with Megs. Is at least what the book sounds like. Like they're
That's
like,
so
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Megalodon,
gonna get
yeah.
weird. It's gonna get weird. I'd imagine if they follow the book, it's probably just they're gonna do even more human stuff and turn this franchise into like a Jason Statham kick-ass franchise. where
it's
he's
The
just
Rock
punching
all over
people.
again.
Yeah, like, I think that would unfortunately be the direction of it, and maybe that's what they were testing with this one. The reason why they added in so much kind of pointless human drama is because
Yeah.
I think the books turn into like James Bond style books more than Shark Attack books.
Yeah,
And
so
I mean,
they build
how
him
many
up as
times
the
can you
Meg
go to
killer.
that well, right?
What was
Yeah.
that?
How often can you go to like, well, the shark is big? Well, I can see
Yeah,
how they
true.
to sell a whole 5-series book.
Yeah, I mean, it must have
franchise?
worked.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy made 5 books, or the people made 5 books, whoever worked on it. So it clearly worked in the book world. But books kind of translate a little bit better with like kind of espionage and action. So if they do a third one and they want to keep going that route, they're definitely going to have to make it a little bit better than evil, bad corporate people versus freaking hippies. Like they need to do it a little bit more.
You're so right,
creatively,
because
but-
Jason went from like deep sea diver to like animal environmentalist, anti-terrorist, mega like superhero guy jumping off of freighters and stuff. Like, wasn't he just a diver? Like, what career path is that?
Yeah. So
And like a disgraced and disgruntled one too. And now
Yeah.
he's all gung ho now after an even worse disaster happened in his life.
maybe something happened with the actress in real life or
That had to
whatever. But
be
yeah,
it,
they killed her off without her even being there, which was kind of a bummer because this movie didn't really have a cool. I liked that girl in the.
I
last
liked
movie.
her, yeah.
There wasn't really a cool female character in
No,
this
the
movie,
coolest
except,
female
the
character kept running away. She's
Yeah.
like, she cheesed it as soon as she had the chance every time.
Oh, yeah,
and then
she
at
was a
one
coward
point,
every
she still
time.
had the
Yeah.
stones to be like, "I'll protect your kid with my life, dude." I'm like,
But
I
she
don't
just
trust
would
you.
always run
I don't
away.
trust you at all.
Yeah. She was an interesting
Close the
character.
hatch. That
Yeah,
chick.
she only cared about herself. That was very clear.
And when she
I don't
had
know,
to
I
He
split
was
the
this
ghost-
close.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It was enjoyable, but I was just like, "There's no way you could trust this person. No way."
No, what do we
Yeah.
think about the human characters overall? I mean, we all know Jason Statham's awesome, and he's always fun to watch on TV. What about the other ones? We talked about the Megs and the monsters and stuff, but in terms of like the human characters, I mean, they were cool. They kind of this movie franchise just still feels like a kaiju franchise to me, to where like our human characters are like characters. I don't know. They're like types of people Like they're very
Yeah.
blunt. Like this movie
Yeah.
feels like an early thousands movie in so many different ways. Kind of crappy story, lots of action, people feeling stereotypes. I mean, you know, not trying to get into a modern crap these days, but like there was
the suicide stuff?
stereotypes. No, they're just stereotypes of different types of people were very evident in this movie. It wasn't like they were trying to blend everybody and make like, you know, there was the big meathead muscle guy. There was the kind of, you know, out of touch like black dude that got real tough and he had like a 50 cal.
I
and
loved his
whatever,
James
you know,
Bond
yeah.
or his Batman
was
art.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was sweet.
That
was
dude
awesome.
came in clutch.
Louis Vuitton bag glow up and everything. Yeah, he was pretty funny.
And then I really liked the main little girl's uncle. I can't remember his name, but he was a cool. He was a cool guy, like the guy that they kept playing his death off. He did a really good role.
Ju Ming. I
Is
just
that his
remembered.
name in it?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was fun. I enjoyed him, and he played the role pretty well. I feel like so.
These
I don't know.
characters, I think, in my opinion, my humble opinion, they're better than the characters in Godzilla vs. Kong. Let me just say
True.
that.
True. I
They're way
agree.
better.
I kind of feel like, you know, these movies,
Yeah.
I mean, it might piss off a lot of people, whatever, but, like, I kind of feel like these Meg movies do the whole kaiju human character thing better than the MonsterVerse. And, like, I would rank these movies, this cheesiness of human characters, of them playing dumb stereotypes and crap like that, better than, like, King of the Monsters, to where everyone's just kind of lame, and at least these people were cool with their stereotypes of what type
Honestly,
of people they
yeah.
would be and stuff, you know?
Serizawa aside, the MonsterVerse just has terrible humans. Every one
Yeah,
of them.
Serizawa was cool, but other than and Skull Island had a cool cast. But
Skull
the
Island
rest
was
of them,
perfect.
they're
Yeah.
forgettable like characters in terms of the humans. Like you just don't care because they don't really allow them to be cool.
Like,
you know, this movie was good at that.
I felt like it's very much like not the first Pacific Rim, but the sequel Pacific Rim. Like that was kind of the interaction between the giant monsters and the people. You kind of had that same sort of level of, yeah. It was like a roster, and like you had to fill. Not every person on the roster could be the same. They all had to be a different type of person. Absolutely.
It was very, like I said, it was old school to where like people were fitting into different roles and stuff, and like, yeah, you know, some people might not like that, but I enjoyed it. This movie just literally reminded me of all the stupid action movies that I grew up with in like 2001.
That's what it was. It was an 80s action movie. It was just
In 80s, yeah.
epic nonsense.
They're not asking much of you. They just want you to have a good time, for sure.
Yeah, I had a
is
good
just a
time
ride.
with the movie. I think
Yeah.
we all had a pretty good time. Not saying it's a great movie. I mean, it's definitely like goofy and all that, but in today's world, to where like we don't have much variety of movies because, you know, it's just like Marvel or nothing a lot of the time. You know, I think it's stacked up in terms of action movies these days because we don't get many good action movies. We haven't got many of them for the last decade.
We get
So-
none.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't count the Marvel movies, we get like one or two action movies, and then sometimes that's a Star Wars movie or something. So like, it's rare that we get these random side project action movies that used to be so much more prominent. So I just, once again, I'll give it a thumbs up if you want a big dumb action movie that actually is an enjoyable ride. I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's an enjoyable movie. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I would-
entertaining.
Yeah,
Entertaining.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
There's plenty of movies that I would say are like 9s or 9.5s or 10s if you want to use the traditional scale, but I'm only going to watch that movie once. I'll watch Meg 2 again.
Well, right. You could totally just put that on, kind of have it on background kind of thing. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not asking too much of you. It is exactly what it is, and it's proud of it. You know what I mean? And I honestly think that if they had taken it seriously, it wouldn't have been a movie for me. I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
If they would have took
the
it
camp
serious,
sells it.
all this stupid stuff would have pissed everyone off more. It would have been
and
more
they
like
would have had to like overthink everything and figure out a rational, logical, and on-theme explanation for everything. Nah, just blow some shit up.
You just reminded me of them all getting on the rafts and it being like 20 feet away. Like, we have a shot. We're like, dude, the raft's right there. That's a rifle you're using.
He
for
says,
God's
"I don't
sake."
have a shot." After the scene right before that, his reticule was right on
They
Statham's
didn't even
back.
need to get in a raft. They
Yeah.
could have shot him from the metal platform so easily. It was a couple
And
things
also,
like that, but
they're on like a shitty lifeboat. Like every bullet that
Would
hits
blow
that
up
boat
one.
is still gonna do something.
it's
Yeah,
inflatable.
they're going
It's-
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Just
fire.
shoot the boat.
Just shoot.
Just shoot the boat once it's going down.
Better yet, stay up on the thing, the oil
Yeah,
rig or
they could've
whatever,
stayed
and
on
then
the metal
shoot 'em from
platform.
there. But that's
Yeah.
the point we're making, is that it's a stupid movie, but it knows it's a stupid movie.
Yeah, it's just having
If
fun.
Rebels
There's
in
going to
it.
be plenty of people that go and roast it. I know the critics are already being all hot and bothered, wanting to smack it already. But, like, whatever with them. They're not going into it like we went into it, knowing that it's just a stupid action movie. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It's no big deal. All right. So, lastly, just so we can finish this off, I'm going back with the Kraken. All right. Did you guys feel a little disappointed or maybe confused at who was really the bad guy in this movie?
Totally.
The bad
Like, it
guy,
was
they
that
tried to
woman,
make.
or
They tried to make the bad guy the humans in this movie. They did the cheesy route that a lot of modern day stories do, to where, like, it's like they did it The Walking Dead and Last of Us and all this. It's like, yo, your monsters are scary enough. I don't need to hear about this stupid crappy human that I've heard 600 times in other movies. Like, I know there's greedy assholes in this world. I've seen it 8,000 times now. Just let it go. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think for what it is, the movie's really good. It's just that the use of the Kraken kind of let me down a little bit. Mind you, cephalopods are they're freaking geniuses, right?
Yeah.
And they could have done so much more. Like actually made this Kraken feel like it was like thinking or plotting something
Do
evil
more
or
than
getting.
just go and bully a bunch of drunken tourists on their little
Yeah.
pier dock thing.
get
Yeah.
nibbled
They
on
could've
by a
done more.
dog and shit. Like, come on, dog was just nibbling on it. Like, bro, it's a Kraken.
Yeah, that dog's
Yeah.
OP though. You can't
It was
kill
even
that
like this
dog.
thing survived down there for God knows how long in a megalodon infested territory. Comes up here and gets eaten by the first Meg. Like, what? You silly
Yeah.
gooses.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a little better of a match.
It could have been the
there.
Meg killer. It could have been how the other one got so scarred up or something, you know?
I only remember seeing 2 of the Megs die. By the way.
Oh,
When
the baby's
third
still,
one
or
died.
the pet one's still alive and pregnant
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the
wasn't
third-
there like
The third
third
one
one
was
was the pet one?
Was the pet one? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
But they didn't make it that clear until like the very end when he's
Yeah,
like,
it's
"Oh
like
wait,
clicker.
that's my friend
Wasn't
out
there
there."
3 in the trench that escaped though?
I think one that escaped
think
was
it was
the
just-
baby
But
coming
one
out.
was the baby. It went down with them. It followed
Yeah.
them into the trench.
See, that's the sort of stuff that was
Yeah.
easy to miss. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And then it
All
met
right.
up with its fellow Megs for that instinctual gathering to mate, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It went down.
I thought we were gonna see a Meg
what
orgy
it did.
when they discussed that, and then when there was no Meg orgy, I was like, man, that's lazy. That
You
would've
guys
been
ever
crazy.
see? I mean, I
needed
watched a
more
lot of
underwater
Shark
stuff.
Week. I watched a lot of Shark Week this past Shark Week, and man, sharks banging is an intense thing. It's
Sharks and
intense.
anacondas,
We're-
man.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's crazy. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. This was Steve. This was Rye and Jacob. Thank you guys for being with us today. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching and for your time. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.